your funniest fuck up story?
My funniest fuck up story? My biggest fuck up? I don't know, man. I don't have any stories that I can bring up because I was a very awkward, silent kid when I was in school, you know? I was like the awkward guy who was just chilling, saying nothing, you know? You had no risk. I dated a lot of girls in my days, chatters. A lot of them. How much did your dad pay them? I think my biggest fuck up, I guess, it was the one time I dated someone, and like the girl found the relationship so bad, she ended up realizing she was a lesbian. It wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad though. It wasn't even that bad. It's just I remember this girl. Okay. I'll you know what? You know what? Fuck it. Why not? I'll tell you my most embarrassing story. Okay. So when I was in school, correct? I had this one friend, and his name was Marco. You know, that's a pretty Mexican name. And this one friend was going to prom with a girl, right? He was going to prom with this one girl, and this one girl was called, let's call him, you know, Becky. And Becky was this like, you know, brown, short woman, you know, she was pretty chill, pretty fun. But then what happened was, right? Okay, so my best friend was going out with that girl to prom. And I was going out with her friend to prom. You know, he was going you know, it was me and my best friend and I, you know, were going together, and her best friend and you know, her, you know? And then what happened is that with time, I ended up, you know, this was like months later, you know, like 3 months later. And then with time, I ended up you know, falling in love with the girl that he was going with the prom, right? And she was falling in love with me at the same time. So it was very awkward. It was very awkward because, you know, we liked each other, but I was going with her best friend, and he was going with my best friend, you know? And basically, I told my best friend, like, hey dude, I like this girl, you know, and I wanna go with prom with her. Do you mind? And he said no problem, right? You know, no problem. You know, because you know how guys are, you know? Guys are simple human beings, you know? They're not like girls and care that much. So he didn't care. But the problem was that the other girl didn't want to go with him. He wanted to go with me. That was what the problem was. But I asked him out of like goodwill, like, listen man, you want to say no, it's fine. It's just I like this girl, you know, and I wanted to, you know, let me switch places, if you will.
Should have fucked your friend, honestly.
No. The problem is that it made too much sense. And the problem was that the girl was kind of like mad about it because it was like, oh well, I was going with you, you know? And, you know, we're still friends. We're still very good friends. But it's just like So then what happened is we ended up switching partners. And what I thought was totally fine and normal, you can tell the girl wasn't very happy. So we ended up going to prom, and it was awkward as fuck, you know? And then I have a friend that his name is Dave, right? And Dave chose to go without a single partner because in his eyes was like, well, I don't want to go somewhere I don't like, you know? So I'd rather just go alone. And then, and then the girl that I was going with, you know, not the one that I'm going with now, but the girl that I was going with in the past, looked at him and said, ha ha, you're alone, and you have no one going with you. And the guy just looks at the girl and says, at least I didn't get replaced by my best friend. So, she was very butthurt about it. By the way, I was sitting right next to her, by the way. I was sitting right next to them. And I was just like, drinking my soda like, oh my god, like what the fuck? Apparently, that experience was so shitty for her that she ended up becoming a lesbian. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's why she said, you know what? I'm done dating boys, and she started dating girls. And then she moved to another city, and then months later, we found like a video of her making out with a girl, like going deep, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? I have a lot of good stories from school. There was one time we had a health exercise, and then the girl says, any volunteers? And my friend Dave said, you know what, I volunteer. So, this like 23-year-old woman lays my friend down in one of those, you know, like when you were injured and you're gonna die, they put you in like a table, a stretcher, yeah, a stretcher. So they put him in a stretcher, right? And the girl says, "All right, breathe in and breathe out," right? And we were all sitting there watching my friend, you know, in the stretcher, right? And then we look at the girl, and then we look at the guy, and the guy has a 90 degrees boner, bro. 90 fucking degrees boner. We all sat there, like looking. We're like, "Is that a cock?" But he was like strapped, so he couldn't move. So he's like this. He's like strapped and can't move. Like he can't move, man. Was she hot? Yeah, she was hot. She had some massive titties. And then the girl says, "All right, the next step is to breathe calmly." And then she looks to the right. He looks to the right and then sees my friend's fucking cock in a 90 degrees angle. The girl looks at it, you know, opens her eyes like super like open, and then says, "All right, that's enough of the activity." And then starts on removing the traps for the fucking. And then when we all told my friend, I told my friend, like, "Dude, you just had like a boner in the middle of the thing." And the guy says, "Bro, she was hot as fuck. She had massive titties." And it's like, bro, what? Like, so bad. Can you blame him though? No, I didn't blame him. I thought it was funny. But it was funny seeing the girls like, "Oh my god, this guy just had a boner main thing. That's so weird." What is Dave doing right now? I think his family. I think he was like a hardcore gamer. He was a hardcore gamer, and his family got tired of it and sent him to military school. And then that's not the last time we saw him.